then, Victor, we're rolling. So, hi, Tara.
Hi.
Good to see you. Thanks for taking the time out to record this with me today. As you know, for the summit that's coming up, I like to have a live with each of the exhibitors so that all the followers and attendees can see why I asked you guys to exhibit, why you wanted to, and also what it is you do and why it's such value and so applicable to Health Optimisation Summit. So I'll kick off quite quickly. Obviously, you're Tara, one of the founders of Conscious Spaces, but if you could tell me what Conscious Spaces is exactly in your own words.
Okay. Conscious Spaces is bringing awareness to your environment. So particularly, obviously, the indoor environment. So everyone, I'm sure in your community, are very into their supplements, foods, drinks like you're drinking right now. Yet it seems to be lacking that people are really taking notice of what they're putting around them. We the microbiome's become a huge topic over the past, 7 years now. And, we go outside and we inform our bodies. And thinking about your biohacking community, I found it really interesting that if we were actually just connected to outside, all those things would be happening naturally. The sun, walking out on the land, the grounding, the earthing, etc. But when we come back in, how are we informing our bodies with the environment around us? So that's really where it started. I really thought it was a missing piece of the puzzle. Everyone was talking about the next supplement, the next this, the next that, but they weren't really paying attention to what they were actually sleeping in, with the electromagnetic frequencies around them, or the mold in their house, the way we're building houses these days. There's no breathability. So it was all of these things that added up, and I thought, okay, this is a missing piece of the puzzle, and it became what it is today.
So what is that exactly then? So it's optimizing your home environment, something from inside, not the outside, right?
Yeah, it's basically trying to clean up. And when I say clean, I don't mean sterile. I mean just cleaning it up so there's, you're thinking about bringing awareness to every room in your house. So what's the air like? What's the water that you're drinking? Do you have a whole house water filtration system? Have you dealt with the electromagnetic frequencies? Have you dealt with the geopathic stress? Have you tested for mold? We offer things where you can just, have it in your home, keep testing it. And that will obviously have an effect on your own body. I know you guys are really into the testing, and it's fascinating that everyone's talking about the food and the supplements, but for example, the mold would have a huge issue on the hormones, on the immune system, as would EMFs. And EMFs, for me, are one of the big kind of tickets. And it's really interesting that everyone's now talking about it as well, which is fantastic. It's really coming into its own, especially with the whole 5G awareness. It really seems to have brought in everything else, although everything else is just as much of a problem. And we have now got the research to back that up. I think it's over 6,000. Some people are saying there are 10 studies that are showing non-ionizing radiation is having an effect on every single aspect of the body, so right down at cellular level. So for me, that's a really big focus, and our community has really taken that to heart, and that seems to be at the moment what we've been known for.
Yeah, one thing that strikes me is that you bring everything together for the home, really, and that includes having a biological builder or someone that comes around and checks your home for you for EMF, for dirty electricity in the house and things like that. A couple of my friends actually have had it done with their homes, and it's amazing, especially when you're checking EMFs in the house. But also, one of the things that I really liked is that you have certain brands like Sauna Space, who are also an exhibitor this year. So sauna, you sell blue blockers as well, so that obviously bringing awareness to a lot of these things we consider biohacks, but you don't necessarily call yourself biohackers, which I and it's good, because one of my roles since starting the summit was really to bring awareness to all the other fields: health and fitness, medical wellness, nutrition, biohacking, all the different diets, and more holistic approaches into one place with the goal of optimizing health. So I really like that you do a lot of these cool things that us biohackers consider normal,
Yeah.
Which, but to the more layman, I guess, for the more general household, which is really awesome. So just, I mean, just do you want to give me an idea of some of the brands that you have, or the product types that you actually have, so that what people can expect when they see you at the summit?
Well, first and foremost, the way we started it was as a consultancy. So it was actually that we would come into your home and check what was not optimized, and then bring in what was needed, and then product placement. So that's how it started. So it was a consultancy first, so working with building biologists, but also EMF surveyors, marrying the two together, because obviously sometimes EMF surveyors work very differently to how building biologists test for EMFs. So it started off as consultancy, and then we found people like Brian from Sauna Space, who are amazing, and it ticked all the boxes for me. I totally recommend anybody to check that sauna out, because I've had saunas before. I've had one for the past decade, and it was always supposed to be low EMF. But when you go into Brian's, he's addressed not just the radio frequency, which you hear about, but obviously the magnetic fields, the electric fields, dirty electricity, the zero flicker on the incandescence. So it's just a beautiful sauna. So I have absolutely no problem gushing over that to anyone that will listen. We're offering now, just in the consultancy, but we will be bringing online whole house water filtration systems, because I think people are happy to, or have been happy to, look at water to drink, but they're not thinking about the fact that we're absorbing through our skin. So that's something which I think is needed now, especially with the pollutants that are in the water. So that will be coming online soon. We offer a hydrogen water under counter filtration. That's very good. Who else? Clearlight's also a really fantastic brand. I love my Swannies. I couldn't be without them. Gosh, what else have we got? A Keytech. And I have one here. I have two, actually. I'm surrounded. There you go. I think you've got one.
I've seen the smaller one before. Yeah, I've got the Key Home at home, which I took your advice and actually moved it actually onto a shelf away from the wall, and so it's definitely not near any electricity, and off the ground, and then held touched onto the sides of it. It's really interesting, the harmonizing feeling from it. So yeah, thanks for the advice. So the Key Home as well, blue blockers.
Just to note, I had one of our EMF surveyors that we partnered with going to a house last Friday, and he was blown away because he'd never actually been in a house that had so much key technology before. And he literally said the difference between the geopathic stress outside to inside was less than half. So he had to just call me up to just be telling me about that, because he's never really used it himself. So he was blown away by that. I just thought I'd say that.
Cool. So I mean, really, like, there's a whole load of brands, a whole load of things to make the biohack the house, I guess, all in one place, which I really like, opposed to just, I mean, obviously we have a lot of cool brands at the summit. There's about 60 of them this year, and 60 products. Some of them have 2 or 3 products, but I think what it's nice is to have a whole setup of different things. People can have the experience and see what they can do, and actually see some of the things in context on your stand, which I really liked. As much as I like single products as well, but it's nice to have it a bit more lifestyle and built into the life, so people can get a bit of inspiration. So that's one of the things that really struck me when asking you guys to exhibit. And so, I mean, just out of interest, what is it for you that you think is what was the reason you wanted to exhibit with us as well? Because it's a two-way thing.
A lot of the people that we get contacted by are, like you said earlier, just kind of, they're not biohackers mostly. A lot of them have come from a very chronically ill background. So they're actually looking to just get well still. And that's at least half of our community. So I thought, so the other people are optimizing their health. That's who we need to speak to as well, because maybe they've been missing this piece of the puzzle as well, really. I do think it's definitely undervalued and not given enough light. I'm talking specifically about the EMFs now. It's quite concerning for me that people are doing everything they can, and some of the clients that ring up, they really are at their wits' end, and then they try this and they suddenly have got energy for the first time in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. We had a lady in her 80s who emailed the other day just saying, thank you, I am feeling so much better the first time in about 40 years. I can spring out of bed. So that's really who we've been speaking to mostly in the community.
Okay.
So it's wonderful to speak to people that already have that awareness, but maybe just need to add a few details to their life.
I think a lot of biohackers focus, or typically beginners, focus on more supplements. They integrate bulletproof coffee, which is great from the inside out, and supplements as well, but I don't think they necessarily know some of the detail, like some of the functional testing, some of the home environment things, some of the workplace environment things. I mean, obviously I've got standing desk, I've got wobble board under my standing desk, I've got earthing on my standing desk as well, and under it. But a lot of the people say, why do you use a standing desk, even though they're spending hundreds of pounds a month on supplements? So it's really nice to see that the household thing fits into this as well. So I'm really looking forward to making it a little bit more mainstream.
I did say I'm sitting down, but that's because I have a 5-year-old, so it's nice to sit down sometimes.
And I'm in Germany at the moment visiting a speaker, a colleague, friend, and having some surgery. So that's why I'm sitting down in a picturesque building right now, opposed to my usual standing desk that I'm seeing.
I was wondering where you were when I first jumped in.
Yeah, I couldn't, much as I don't want to be away from my home, it's really nice to be somewhere different. 3 months in one place for me is a long time.
Yes.
Especially when you've built your career to be able to be global. So yeah, but so awesome. So I mean, obviously my experience with you guys, as I said, is more about the range of things that you do and the service you offer, which I think is going to be a really nice experience at the summit. I've also obviously got a key home, which you guys will get to know more about, but it's an EMF, I guess, harmonizing device.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain a little bit more about it in a moment, because I feel like it's kind of your signature product, or one of your main products. So I'll let you talk a bit about that. And also, like, then go on to why optimal living is the missing piece, because I think, again, we've touched on that. So yeah, so tell us about the key home.
Okay, so the key technology in general works on the premise that you get positive ions coming out of the tech devices from the EMFs, and the key technology works with negative ions that creates the torus field effect, or the sphere with the key me. And it works to depolarize the man-made EMFs that are literally coming around and surrounding us. So it creates like a bodysuit, let's say, of the negative ions on your skin, and stops the positive ones going through and going into your body and having the negative effects. The studies are showing that it positively helps heart rate variability, skin conductance, obviously looking at the parasympathetic nervous system, and various other things. So they're looking to keep doing research at the moment to find basically what you buy. I don't want to say you biohackers, but your community look for when you get tested, and when you're looking, you want to see that measurement. So they're at the moment just trying to get the studies to show exactly what it does, to try and make it clearer. Because I think because you can't plug it in, sometimes people they look at it, they think it looks great, but they're like, well, okay, well, how does it recharge? And I think you're having Gerard Pollock, aren't you? So it works with the premise of the fourth phase of water, but they call it key water. They've added their own geometric placement and various minerals and consistencies into to create the water in little vials inside the device, which then creates the torus field effect of protection.
Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to see Jerry speak, actually.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited about that.
Emailing with him this morning. It's all, every time I see his name, I'm just like, this is amazing. It's amazing.
He's
big
brilliant.
fan.
And I think, what was the other guy that fantastic guy, he wrote the New Biology of Water.
I know the book really well, and I can't remember his name, because is it Stephen something?
Oh no, it's gone out of my head, but I love his ideas on stuff as well. He's really an interesting guy for sure.
Yeah, I'm Googling it, or should I say DuckDuckGo right now. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's going to bug me otherwise all the way through, and my mind would be occupied until it's answered. Yeah, so it's Thomas Cowan, yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, I love that book actually, because it really brings in, again, a lot of biohacks into one place, and it links a lot of these biohacks back to water.
Yes.
Including red light therapy and saunas. They actually talk, I think he talks about sauna space in there, like Dr. Mercola does in his book, the EMF book as well. And
yes, I loved it for that reason as well, that it brought the fact that it's all about water, we're water, and it's doing the same thing. The devices are doing the same thing to us. The saunas are doing the same thing for us. Loved it. I loved the fact that it was neatly put together and very accessible to read as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've got a competition, or should I say a giveaway today, for the best question, which I'm just checking to see, because we were going to do an Instagram live, but we're not, so we haven't got live questions coming in. So I'm not quite sure if we can do this giveaway. What I think we'd do is, for those guys that are watching this, we will give the prize to the person that puts the best comment there, and instead of doing through the live stories. And then what we do is we'll pick a winner in the next couple of weeks when there's some questions built up. All right. So I think that's probably the best way around it. For those that are watching this, we try to do an Instagram live as well from here at the same time, but unfortunately we're having issues with Instagram, so we just recorded instead. So I mean, so just out of interest, let's move on to why you think optimal living environments could be the missing piece. Because, I mean, I know personally, obviously, it's a big thing for my family, specifically around mold. But I'd love to hear from you how you think it fits into this whole piece.
Again, mine was personal. I spent about 90% of the time for a decade in bed. I was ill. I was very, very ill. It feels like another person now, to be perfectly honest with you. But I was in pain 24/7, and the fatigue was something else. I could barely lift my head off the pillow, and it was 10 years of it. And I had severe endometriosis, so every month, as well as the pain and general infections, I would literally just pass out every single month. So Darren had to be there, because obviously he just didn't know whether I was going to have an accident. It was significant, and I tried everything, and I did not get where I felt I needed to be. And I looked at everything. I felt that I looked at everything, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I had some spiritual experience, let's say, when it was about the 8th year in, and I just felt completely hopeless. And I was just thinking, well, I've tried everything. What am I going to do? This is it. And I had a bit of a dark night of the soul, I have to say. And whatever you want to call it happened. But I was basically shown, imagine seeing loads of pictures of your life in a really fast, like a video, just scrolling. You're scrolling so fast. And you saw everything that you ever did, positive or negative, but it happened in 1 second. And I saw in that moment or was shown that it really doesn't matter about what you think you should be doing or the big things that happen in people's lives. It's the little things. And that day was the first day that I'd gone out for half an hour. It sounds hilarious, but it was the first day outside I'd gone out for half an hour that week. And I was walking down the road, and I smiled at an old gentleman. And I literally was shown that smile changed his whole day. And then he smiled at other people and literally changed their whole days. So that ripple effect, just from that smile. And from that point onwards, I had kind of extra energy to carry on looking, because it didn't make me feel so hopeless. Just that smile can have that effect. I thought, gosh, imagine what people can do in the world if they just knew that. So that really, from that point onwards, I started to get better, and I started to access other ways of doing things. And I went and studied called Shamanism. And over the years of training, my teacher would always tell me, before we're going to do any work, go out on the land. First thing in the morning before the sun rises, you're going out on the land. And we're not going to do anything else till we've done that. So it made me understand that connection with you know, your environment is shaping you. So that was one of the first ways that conscious spaces kind of a seed was planted. Another one was we went to Hippocrates Health Institute when I was searching for answers, and over there you'd have your blood taken, you'd have dark field blood analysis, live blood analysis at the beginning, at the end. So we went through the whole thing, you know, it was wheatgrass this, wheatgrass that. We were just living on sprouts. You know, it was good. It helped me out of a hole. I have to say, I do not eat like that now, but it helped me out of a hole, and I'm forever grateful. So at the end of the time, we had our blood taken, we had the dark field blood analysis again. Mine looked great. Darren's looked terrible. And he was saying, I have not cheated. I have done everything right. What's been happening? And he said, well, I've been on the mobile phone to the UK for half an hour. And looking at what, in that moment, the EMFs did to his blood in that half an hour is exactly if somebody had been eating an absolutely disgusting junk filled diet for probably, you know, a week or so. It was awful. And that was one of the seeds that was planted with me with the electric smog or EMFs. And I have to say, I still went back and I didn't do too much about it, because I still thought, okay, well, there was no information particularly at that time. But it did set something off where I knew that I couldn't be around Wi-Fi. And then in time, I realized through various means that I had electric hypersensitivity. So we're all electrically sensitive, but there's people that are electrically hypersensitive, and that's when they literally cannot be around certain technology. So I think it's hilarious that the Instagram, I'm sorry, Tim, it probably isn't completely, but the fact that it didn't work speaks volumes for the fact that technology is an issue, and we have to be really, really balanced with it. And I don't see that happening now. So that was another reason that I thought conscious spaces needed to talk to people, because as well as the consultancy and the products and everything, we also do articles to try and break down, you know, why you should be doing this in your home. You know, 10 tips for EMF mitigation. This is the people who don't necessarily know much about it. So I hope that answered your question. That was a bit long-winded.
No, it's good. It's good. Awesome. So, okay. So where can people find you, Tara?
Well, they can not completely find me all the time, because as you can tell, I'm not an Instagram person, but we're at consciousspaces.com.
Okay, awesome. And so we've got a special offer, I believe, yes, which is HOS 20.
That's it.
Or 7th of July. I think we're probably going to have to extend that by a few days, because this is going to take a few days to edit without.
I'll organise that.
But yeah, and that's for a personal EMF protection device for on the go. That's a key home. One of these, yeah.
One of these.
Okay. Awesome. So so if you guys go over to consciousspaces.com and check out the site and have a look at the key products, literally the key product, which is awesome. And then the best question will win a key me. Okay, awesome. So, well, thank you very much for your time today, Tara. It's really, really kind, and really looking forward to seeing your stand. I know you've got some good things planned for it.
Very excited. Very excited.
My favorite brands there as well, which is awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you soon.
Okay.